Hello and welcome to the grand finale of Nedbank Pitch Polish 2025. We hope you're ready for big pitches, bigger nerves, and one life-changing decision. Over the past 16 weeks, we've seen it all. The snowballs, the slip-ups, the superhero toilet paper, and it all comes down to one last pitch. Tonight, one of our contestants is going home with that amazing prize with a whopping 1 million rand. Plus, the bragging rights of being South Africa's ultimate pitching champion, which, let's be honest, is pretty darn incredible, isn't it? Okay, let's get pitching. All right, now you're used to hearing me talk with the judges after the pitches, but today we're starting with me trying to see what I can get out of them before the finalists do their thing. Let's see if we can get them to give us a hint on who they might prefer. Nedbank Pitch Polish 2025, it's the finals. Judge Nonkubela, welcome back. We missed you. Hello, Judge Alon.
Hello.
Forever beautiful. Hello, Judge Monique.
Hello.
Okay, highlights from this incredible journey for you, Judge Nonkubela.
For me, it was really very gratifying and actually inspiring to see how many people in our country have talent and are taking up opportunities, you know. So, I thought it was very encouraging that there are so many potential, brilliant entrepreneurs are taking their chances and taking their
Go-getters.
opportunities. Yeah, I love that and the diversity in them.
Judge Monique, your highlights of this incredible journey.
I thoroughly enjoyed the number of women that we had in this season. I think that when you equip women, you really change families, you change communities, you change the world. So it was really encouraging to see the amount of women entrepreneurs that we had and the attention to detail that the later rounds of entrepreneurs had.
Wow.
That tells me that you're really committed to the long haul in your business, and I really like that.
Judge Alon, let's talk about the wild card. A business entrepreneurs who have come straight into this competition and straight into the finals. What do you think of that process and what do you think they can achieve today?
Well, things are really stacked against them because the other two have had the advantage of going through a number of rounds. They've probably got used to some of the process. Their nerves are a little calmer. And they've had the advantage of being mentored and guided thus far. So the Nedbank Pitch Polish process is now that we allow somebody in just as a wild card to mix it up, because in entrepreneurship, you always get those surprises and you always are put into positions where things are stacked against you. So let's see.
Never a dull moment. The show must go on. Judge Alon, who's going to win?
One of the three will win.
Judge Nonkubela, who's going to be the champ of Nedbank Pitch Polish 2025?
I think all three are already winners.
These judges. Come on, Judge Monique. Who's the champ?
The first place winner, definitely.
Thank you so much, judges. And I'm glad I'm not in your position. All the very best for the upcoming judging. Wow, I love hearing what our judges took away from this season, from celebrating diversity to backing bold women, and of course, shaking things up with the wild card contestant. It's clear that this season has made a real impact, not just on our contestants, but on our judges too. Right, let's keep the momentum going, but before we get to the pitches, it's time for a quick word from our incredible title sponsor, Nedbank.
On behalf of Nedbank, it has been an absolute honor to once again walk this journey with Pitch and Polish. I can't tell you how many proposals arrive in our inbox every year for pitching competitions, but we choose this platform for a reason. Pitch and Polish doesn't just give a stage, it gives entrepreneurs the chance to challenge themselves, to sharpen their thinking and turn insights into action. And that's where the transformation happens. This year, we saw the toughest competition yet. The bar was high, the competition was strong out there, but the resilience was stronger. Yes, we know the statistics. We know that the failure rate for small businesses is high, but you don't have to be a statistic. You can be an exception. We also saw more women entrepreneurs stepping up this year. And let me tell you, you've never seen resourcefulness until you've seen a woman turn something out of nothing. Women knit families together, communities, and even countries together. Nothing can stop you in your tracks like a mother's stare. But this isn't just about women, it's about men too. It's about all genders, all backgrounds, all kinds of people with every kind of business idea. Our strengths don't compete, they complete. The question is, how do we bring all this capacity, all this wiring, all the influence to the table so that we can build a lasting legacy? At Nedbank, we're looking for the green shoots, and the most fulfilling part has been watching them appear week after week as entrepreneurs didn't just listen, but applied the learnings in their own unique way. That's growth, that's resilience, that's entrepreneurship in action. So to every contestant, whether you leave tonight with a large trophy or with lessons to sharpen your next pitch, you carry the potential to change industries, create jobs, and strengthen communities. And Nedbank will continue to stand with you because we don't just talk about supporting entrepreneurs, we live it with our heart, with our feet, and our wallet. So congratulations to all our winners and to every entrepreneur who stood on the stage and every entrepreneur who tuned in online and thought about the season's learnings. Don't get stuck. Keep growing, keep building, keep leading. Your story is only beginning, and we can't wait to see where it goes next.
Thank you for those inspiring words, Monique. And speaking of sponsors, tonight is your very last chance to win one of our Evo Super Shop vouchers from Nedbank worth 5,000 Rand. Stay tuned. I'll tell you how to enter a little later. Now, as I said earlier, it's been close to 4 months since this year's competition kicked off. Hard to believe, isn't it? It feels like just yesterday that 16 wide-eyed entrepreneurs arrived at the Race Corp offices, grouped into fours. 2 contestants from each group were eliminated in the first round, leaving us with 8 in the second round. From there, 4 went on to battle it out in the semi-finals. And tonight, just 2 of our original contestants remain with us. Blessing, who has impressed us from the start, and Prudence, who's pushed through with heart and hustle. And of course, our wildcard entrants, Langelihle Zulu and Tsecha Mamshika of I'll Go at Work, will be pitching tonight. And they joined the competition at the very end of the last episode. That's 3 businesses, but only 1 can win. And the pitching begins now. First up tonight are our wild card entrepreneurs, Langelihle and Tsecha of I'll Go at Work. This is their first and only pitch in the competition. Let's see how they do.
Hello.
Welcome, gentlemen. So what do you have there on the table next to you?
So these are some of the tools that we use for training. What you're looking at here. So when we speak about IoT, basically these are some of the things that makes it. You are looking at sensors, this box right here. You are looking at the computer that controls everything, and you are looking at network. That's what makes something IoT. So this is basically some of the things you would find in the lab as students are working.
Now, you guys are the wild card. You've come in right at the end. How are you feeling?
We're feeling great. Let's say it's exciting, but it's also a privilege as well that we are very much aware of and that we appreciate. So, yeah.
Great. You understand the 3 minutes to pitch?
Yes.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pitch and polish.
Greetings, judges. My name is Langa.
And Tsecha?
We are Alco at Work, the launchpad to a future of unlimited possibilities. We are solving one of South Africa's biggest problems right now: access to relevant skills as well as talent, youth unemployability, as well as a workforce that needs to be reskilled and upskilled.
As a hardware-first institution, our focus is on training our students in hardware. That is robotics, Internet of Things, and embedded systems. This is opposite to what most of our competitors are training in, which is usually software training.
Our model is replicable and scalable, hence our presence in 10 regions across 5 provinces right now. We offer non-accredited training programs in the form of robotics labs where we partner with high schools. We also offer accredited training programs in the form of makers labs where we partner with TVETs as well as private colleges. We also partner with public sector as well as private sector to deliver teacher training programs.
With clients like Tata Consulting Services, Chieta, and Gauteng Province, you can see why our annual financial statements to date are showing 3.7 million rand in revenues. But currently we have an additional 11 million revenues in revenues confirmed. That puts our revenues to date at 14 million rand. Judges, that is 278% growth. You can imagine what will happen over the next 2 months.
What powers our institution is a curriculum developed in-house by our high caliber facilitators as well as researchers. Our curriculum infuses education, research and development, as well as early entrepreneurship support. Our curriculum is also project-based to ensure practical learning as well as experience for our trainees.
Today, we are asking for 650,000 rand investment. 50% of it will go towards computers, while the other 50% will go towards equipment such as CNC machines, 3D printers, and laser cutters. Judges, that will allow us to be able to provide better quality in training. Already we are providing quality, but that will just elevate it.
What guarantees your return on investment is a strong partnership with public sector as well as a growing private sector clientele, growing alumni of the makers, which adds to our credibility, but we're also investing heavily in branding and marketing to ensure visibility. But most importantly, we are continuously evolving and refining our approach to stay ahead of the curve.
Judges, please come with us as we train the next generation of innovators in our country. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Let's start with you, Monique. Questions?
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
So you say it's 278% growth that you've had.
Yes.
You're clearly in the right place at the right time. It's phenomenal growth for the time that you've been established. I want to know the top 3 things that you have planned so that you don't implode, because growing at that scale is dangerous.
With our presentation here today, one of the most important things that we understand is part of it is being trained and being mentored. And we believe that that will be a great addition in our growth so that we can be able to manage it and manage our scaling. So that is the first thing that we are doing. The second thing that we are doing is we are trying to, as these projects are coming in, to get people who will assist us that already know or already have worked in some of the institutions that are bigger than us so that they can assist us and look at what we might be doing not correctly, be it in systems and other way as we go forward.
We're also continuously investing in grooming talent to be ready to be deployed in the current, in the different regions where our projects are happening.
Great, thank you.
Uncle Ben?
So I'm going to piggyback on that question. But first, I want to say congratulations on what you've achieved so far.
Thank
I
you.
think you're onto a good thing, and I think you've got a nice partnership mix and match of skills there.
Thank
But just to piggyback, I had another question, but I can't miss the opportunity. But what is it that you think is your biggest risk that you are facing? What keeps you up at night in your business right now?
The first thing is with the speed of growth that we are experiencing is making sure that we manage it. If I was to fall ill, will everything still run as it's supposed to? Will the processes happen as they're supposed to? Will we not miss deadlines just because I'm not there? That is the first one, I think, from me that I am seeing. The second one is obviously competition. We are looking, there is other organizations and institutions, as we've been doing this, that have been looking at how we are doing it and are trying to get into it. We understand that we had first entry to market for the most part, but we know that that is coming, and therefore we need to make sure that we increase our quality in training. The final thing is, so over the past few years, we've been working on B2B while we started on B2C. So we understand that sometimes when you're looking at our financial statements, our clientele, you could see that there is a risk there because largely government or largely our projects come to government. So we are preparing ourselves through this to ensure that in the future we can open B2C kind of a business, and that is largely dependent on how we are doing currently. And we are even investing a lot of the finances that we are making or the revenues that we are making to prepare for that future.
Okay. Can I ask another question?
Sure, but could you keep the answer a little shorter?
So, over and above the, your fantastic growth in turnover, how else do you measure your success?
I think it's one of the matrix that we use is of course on the outcome side. For example, the impact through the different initiatives and projects and programs that we run. What are the trainees developing? What solutions are they coming up with into society as well as industry? Is there IP? Because there's some potential in there in terms of that growth. So that's one of the aspects. Of course, the numbers as well, because we want to ensure that we can impact as many communities as possible to get them into the space of technology education, critically important to solving the issue with the skills or the lack thereof. And then, of course, revenues as well. To see that there is sustainability, as we believe, again, profitability is of course a gateway to sustainability, to ensure that we can have a stable and solid business, but most importantly, scale into many more regions across the continent and later on in the world as well.
Thank you.
My question around your expansion is around the people who will be training. Skills is a big issue in South Africa.
Yes.
All right, you've got this massive growth. You spoke about being in 10 regions.
Yes.
How are you going to cope with more growth? Because we have sat together, the five of us, going through your financials. You've got big plans, and that is going to require a lot more people to be training. How are you going to find these people, and how are you going to train the trainers?
The first place is, while we are training, working with these institutions, the people we are training, we are also their first employers. So when they come out, we look at those who are doing well, those who are promising, and we ensure that we have those, and we keep that pool open so that as per need basis, we are able to call some through. But also through our clients, we are now investing in a VR system where, because this is hardware, we want people to be able to use VR and simulation to start being able to work and tinker and build with these things outside of a person being there physically. That product is coming well, and we are glad that it's coming at this time where the demand is high.
And next question around the business, and going back to our meeting in the boardroom where we went through your financials, etc. The question is around, you currently have a CEO in place. You're the two founders, but you put a CEO in place, which I think is a very mature thing to do. But what happens if that CEO leaves? What would happen? How would you run the business? Would you just find another CEO, or?
Yes, most certainly that's the idea, because he is a career CEO who we have brought in to ensure that there is, of course, growth, and systems put in place, and of course overseeing the team. So that is the kind of idea, because again, as he was talking about the issue of sustainability, we are constantly looking at how do we work outside of the business so that we can ensure that this thing that we are building and that we have built is sustainable as well as scalable, even though we may not always be there. So that's the whole idea.
And additionally, he has someone who is very close to him. He is 21, which we might think is younger, but he's working with him closely to try and train him in what he knows, so that we can have perhaps.
But why not you? Why not train you two? Why the 21-year-old? Okay, let's not go there. But one last question, because it's very important that we get this across right now, is when we sat in the boardroom together, the financials seemed a little bit wrong. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That you got cost of sales, where cost of sales in the 200% and 5% the following month and 110% the following month. What are you guys doing now in order to ensure that you understand the financials of your business?
So he will be enrolling in a university. I'm enrolled in a university because I understand that we need to get the technicals right and continuously. And our conversation with him has been he needs to enroll in a university in a financial or finances related course, so that we can have a much better grasp of them. So what we have understood is it is a continuous for us development, not just for the business, but also for ourselves as founders. We don't know everything, but we also are aware, and therefore the conversation of the CEO, we also are aware of our shortfalls, and we try by all means to mitigate them.
Great, gentlemen. We've heard enough. Thank you for your pitch. Well done. You may leave.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
What are your thoughts?
So I think they're two bright chaps. I think they've got a good thing going. Like I said, they've spotted an opportunity. And I think, as Monique said, they are in the right place at the right time. And I think they're somehow capitalizing on that, which is great. I love that they are focused on continuously developing themselves, and that they are not duplicating. I mean, they've got very clearly distinct skill sets. I do have question marks about the business. The robustness of the business. I think they're riding the wave of getting all these fundings from the Mercedes and government funding, but that doesn't make them a robust business. I think they've got a great concept, but I also don't like I said in the boardroom, where they're pitching with high school kids, because I think the measurement of impact is not robust enough for me.
Your thoughts?
I think, look, I'm not adverse to the training of the students in schools. I think that if the funding is available, in reality, you've got to equip those kids somehow.
But that's a CSI thing. It's not a business, my view.
Yeah, I guess, and I guess also then monitor it effectively post the schooling piece, to see how many of these kids actually go on into entrepreneurship, or how many actually go into that field. What worries me about this business, and I agree with you, great business in the sense that they well positioned, is I don't think that the prize money in this particular competition is going to make a difference to them. It's either a marketing exercise, but for me, things like your laptops and your systems should be, as part of your cost of sales, should be embedded in your contract. It shouldn't be a standalone sort of expense, as it were. So I'm not sure whether them being on the show has been a marketing exercise or brand building exercise, or whether they genuinely see it as an investment into their business.
I mean, I think I agree with you. I think for them it's a learning exercise being here. I don't think the 650 is going to change the trajectory of their business. As you said, I mean, the figures they're quoting, 14 million in turnover, clearly shows. And also, if they get their finances right, as you said, because they shouldn't be looking to use that 650 for laptops. Maybe there's something else they could use it for, but not that.
You know, for me, what I'm concerned about is the growth. If you look at the previous 2 years of financials, if you look at the net profit, it was quite low as a percentage. Now you've got this growth, and you would think that you've got economies of scale and that you're going to get a much higher net margin with that kind of growth. But I haven't seen in how they've presented the cost structure well. So you don't understand from the numbers from an investor's eye whether actually they're going to make money. Because I've seen often you get a big deal, then your actual expense and your cost of sales to deliver on that is so high, and then they're going through the learning curve, which means that they're going to actually lose money. And I've seen businesses get big deals and actually lose money as a result, not make money as a result. And I'm not left feeling confident that they don't understand their financials. And then the thing for me that really makes me uncomfortable is that they've got a CEO, which I thought that was very mature. But instead of teach us, it's teaching a 21-year-old. You know, well, it might be brilliant. I've got no issue with the 21-year-old. But why not them? Why have they abdicated the continuity to somebody else? That's where it all fell apart for me. But let's get scoring.
That was a strong pitch, even more impressive considering they haven't had the benefit of receiving feedback from the judges in the previous rounds. Of course, the judges had a few questions, understandably so. But as wildcard entries go, that was a bold showing. Let's move on to our second finalist, Blessing of Baker's Creations. Here he comes, looking incredibly sharp as he walks the carpet for one final pitch. Take it away, Blessing.
Welcome, Blessing.
Good day, judges.
I see you got something new on the table there today. What is that?
It's the new branding that we're working on. It's still in the progress. But I felt that it's best just to bring it, as much as it is not completed yet, just to show what we are working on.
Great. You know there are 3 minutes to pitch today. I see you dressed up smart for the final. Great. We wish you luck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pitch and polish.
Have you ever had a pure delight in every bite? Our snowball cake is more than that. It's a bite of nostalgia. Lunchbox memories, Sunday visits to Gogo, and the sweet joys of childhood, all reimagined for today's market. I am Blessing Sithole, the founder of Baker's Creations, with over 20 years experience in business management and a lifelong passion for baking that started as a hobby. Based in rural of KwaZulu-Natal, we've turned this passion into a premium confectionery manufacturing business. We have built a production facility that complies to Global Food Safety Initiative standards and a product range that is all halal certified. We have a team of 30 and management that has over 50 years of industry experience. Our hero product is the snowball, also known as a red cake, a beloved South African classic, but we have reimagined it. A softer, fluffier sponge cake filled with cream with flavor variations that appeal to a younger modern market while staying true to tradition. This product is soon to be rebranded as Snowball, with new packaging that's designed to stand out on the shelf and grab the customer attention. We are updating our marketing strategy and already building our online presence to better connect with consumers as we build a stronger brand. Our recipe innovation earned us a national listing with Pick n Pay, and that has led to a recognition as the supplier of the year. We also supply Spar KZN, Tsebo Group, and major fuel station shops in Durban and surroundings, with KZN provincial agreements and national rollout plan already in place. We recently launched with 21 canteens at Toyota car manufacturing plant that has increased our production from 50 to 65% of our operating capacity. With our rollout plan, we will be exceeding our current capacity in the next 5 months. Our industry is worth 9.5 billion, growing by 6.4% each year. Our annual turnover for the last financial year was only 4.6 million with a gross profit margin of 51% and a net profit of 7%. We have since improved our net profit to 14% through improved efficiency. Should I win this competition, I'll use 365,000 on a new oven, 185,000 on a delivery vehicle, and 100,000 on branding and marketing. This will increase our production and distribution capacity and grow our brand awareness that will translate into sales and double our annual turnover in the next financial year. We'll also use the mentorship support towards strengthening our management systems to enable us to successfully operate multiple sites as we scale. Judges, we're not just baking, we're building a brand. Snowball is our symbol of heritage, joy, and bold new beginnings. Thank you.
Great pitch, Blessing. All right, Nkubela, let's start with you.
Yeah, Blessing, that was a really lovely pitch. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So well done. And also congratulations. I mean, your business, I love the new branding, by the way. It's really stunning. I think you'll get a lot of people picking that product in the shop floor. In the stores. You've 21 canteens at Toyota, etc., lots of growth in place. So you're doing great. I'm particularly excited to see that you're also improving your net profit up from 7% to 14%. So you're paying attention to profitability because that's very important. How are you going to make sure that scaling up does not erode your profitability? You mentioned, because I want you to deep dive here or to double click, to be quite granular. You mentioned that you're going to improve you've achieved your increase in profitability through improving efficiency. Can you just double click on that? What does that actually mean in your business right now? And how will the 650 allow you to maintain or even increase your profitability in particular? So what is the drivers of your profitability?
Now, so currently, because the volumes, manufacturing is a volume-based game. So currently the volumes we're doing are not sufficient enough to earn us that privilege to negotiate better prices with the suppliers. However, getting the second baking oven, it will mean it will double our production capacity. That will give us that power to negotiate with the suppliers. And also, currently we have improved efficiencies through that. We got to a point where I had personal setbacks in the business. So I couldn't fully focus on the business. So where I couldn't focus on the business, so it got to a point where a majority of the staff were just enjoying to come to work and making more time, but without necessarily considering the productivity level. So we basically improved on that, the productivity, and that has improved our net profit.
Productivity. Okay.
Monique?
That was a brilliant pitch. Really well done. And I love the rebranding. I think it's fantastic because you're going to stand out now when you actually have that placement on the shelves, because it's not just another tray of red cake. So well done on that. Really, really brilliant. The last time we chatted, you weren't operating at full capacity. And I get where you're coming from with the efficiencies. But if you had to increase the operating in the actual factory, would that not help you from a productivity perspective and help you to actually get more reach?
Would you kindly repeat the question?
So the last time you were saying that your bakers are working on a shift basis, right? So they were working, I think it was twice a week or thrice a week. It wasn't every day. If you had to increase the amount of days that they come in and bake, would that not increase the productivity and help you to actually get more product into market?
Yes, that's definitely correct. So during the last presentation, we were working 3 days a week. We had cut. So now, since we've started with new customers, because remember, we already have quite a number of customers that we can just plan and start rolling out the products to them. Hence the one that you just started now that I mentioned, Toyota Car Manufacturing Plant. It's basically the food service is run by Tsebo, which we are listed with. So it's a matter of negotiating that now we are ready when I start new customers now, which is what we did at the beginning of this year. So since we did that, we've added another day. Now we operate 4 days a week. So hence we are now on 65%, whereas the previous time we were on 50%. So we're looking at closing the balance of the gap within the next 5 months. But we don't want to rush and say now we're starting with all customers at the same time. So where we pushing our capacity to 100% immediately, because there's always those minor things that we probably may not be seeing in advance. There's always blind spots. So taking it slow, it gives us that opportunity to look at what is it that is coming out that we went aware of so that we can refine it and then move forward.
What do you believe are your blind spots right now?
One of the biggest challenges that I have now is that, so when I came back fully in the business, now when I'm fully focused in the business, I had to take on a lot of responsibilities to myself. I had to take on a lot of duties to myself because I wanted to be sure that each element or each duty is performed correctly. Whereas if I rely on someone, it becomes a little bit difficult to monitor if I'm not fully there. So whereas now it's easier, I can see what's going on. I can see if there's a challenge, I can see it at first hand. And then I can find solutions, which is my responsibility to find solutions. So whereas when I start bringing in other people to assist with management of other elements of the business, it will be easier because it's something that I know this is how this situation is now, whereas I knew how it was back then.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Blessing, you speak about productivity. You right now in Gauteng, your operation is in KZN as we speak. How do you know what's going on in your factory right now?
So currently, I have the production manager, so who currently reports directly to me.
How? Over the phone, via numbers, via system? How are you getting the numbers?
So currently, he reports via email. Then it does happen in emergencies that he'll send me a message on the phone, or he'd call. It depends on the level of the emergency and how urgent it is. But normally we communicate via emails. And then we always hold meetings 3 times a week.
So are you in the factory when you're not at Nedbank Pitch and Polish? Are you at the factory every day?
Yes, I'm at the factory. Not exactly every day, but most of the time I'm there. Because I also go out to see customers as well.
Okay. Okay, Blessing, thank you. You may leave.
Thank you.
Monica, that was a seriously good pitch. Eh?
That was a very good pitch. That's what I love about the Nedbank Pitch and Polish competition. You can actually see the tangible progress. It was an amazing pitch. I also love the fact that he's gone and he's taken the previous feedback. He's changed his packaging. I just love him as an entrepreneur. I think that he's got his finger on the pulse and he really understands what's going on in his business. Brilliant.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I also must say it was amazing. I love him. He's hardworking. He listens. He's taking on the feedback. He's so earnest. Striving man. What can I say?
Yeah, wonderful. I just love all the progress, and you can see every time he stood here, there's something new. He's taken the
gotten
feedback.
better and
It's got
better.
better and better and better. So it's time to score. Let's see if we can get a better score.
Wow, the judges were clearly impressed, and it's easy to see why. Blessing has been a brilliant contestant from the very beginning, consistently delivering strong pitches and thoughtful answers. Will it be enough to clinch the win, though? One contestant left to pitch. Stepping into the pitching arena now is Prudence of the Kitchen Wrap Company. Will she deliver the pitch that wins it all? Let's find out.
Welcome, Prudence.
Thank you, Alan.
So what do you have on the table there next to the table?
I have samples of my product, which is our core product. This is architectural film. We use it to wrap existing furniture or any flat surface to give it a new look. So we upgrade old spaces and make them look better without any demolition.
Okay. You know there are 3 minutes to pitch today,
Yes.
and you're feeling ready.
Sort of.
Well, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pitch and polish.
With kitchen upgrades proven to boost property values by up to 15%, There's a growing demand for a faster, more efficient way to transform spaces. Traditional renovations are painfully slow and expensive, costing landlords thousands in lost income every day. Businesses cannot afford to shut down, working professionals don't have time for messy, drawn-out projects, and real estate agents are unable to sell outdated homes. Judges, I'm Prudence Mabaso, an industrial systems engineer and founder of the Kitchen Wrap Company. Over the past 4 years, we've specialized in non-invasive renovations, transforming spaces without tearing them apart, beating traditional methods on cost, speed, and convenience. Our core solution uses architectural films that are trusted in aviation and healthcare for their A-class fire rating and durability. These high-performance films are able to help us deliver renovations at 60% less cost and 5 times faster than traditional methods, with no noise, dust, or downtime. We also offer ancillary products that our clients normally pair with their wraps to give an overall modern look. Beyond products, we actively train installers, both professionals and newcomers, creating a loyal business-to-business customers that come back to us to buy the films and our materials. Although this segment is relatively new, it boosts sales and will be a powerful growth and will grow our business in the future as we scale. To professionalize the industry, we have aligned our training with a QCCO accredited basic furniture upholstery qualification and have passed the desktop evaluation phase, gearing up for now the national accreditation. This is a game changer because it will allow us to certify our installers on our proprietary methods. It will allow us to access SETA funding and build a pipeline of skilled professionals. For learners, this is a new career path, and for us, it boosts our strength in delivery, and for South Africa, it turns wrapping into a viable, job-creating trade, especially for youth and unemployed artisans. Last year, we generated 6 million rand in revenue with 55% gross profit, only from Gauteng, driven organically through social media, and now we are ready to scale. To further accelerate conversions, we are now building a technology platform that will be a backbone of our growth. It will integrate CRM capabilities as well as ERP capabilities, allowing us to have full control over projects, warranties, quality and inventories all in one place. Clients will be able to scan their space, preview their finishes, get instant quotes and book online. To fund this growth, 80% of the prize money will be...
Sure. All right, and that's the final, huh? Okay, let's go with you, Nkubela. Questions?
Yeah, Prudence, I think you've got a great product, right? And I mean, I think your growth is showing that. But what I want to know more about, and this is where you got, is your growth strategy. What is it that, how is the business going to grow? I see you investing in ARM, but can you just tell me, how are you going to grow from 6 million to what's next? And how are you going to do that concretely?
Okay, we already have a working model which we are using manually. We have independent installers, not just in Gauteng. We have in Cape Town, we have in Namibia, and we have a growing footprint in Botswana as well, of installers that are buying material from us and wrapping. So with our accreditation, we are planning to certify our installers, making sure that they can get quality training and certify them to sell our product. So we will be available in many locations, even though we are not there, which is currently happening also now because we are based in Joburg right now, but we are able to reach customers where we can't reach because of the people that have come to do training at our at our business.
Okay, that sounds, so is that different from franchising? But that's not my question. It sounds like a franchising model, but how are you going to stimulate demand? So you've got the installers in Namibia, but how do people in Namibia or wherever, how do they know about your product and ask for your product and go to, what are you doing on that side?
We're planning to drive sales, aggressive sales, because we haven't been doing that. Everything has actually been very passive through social media, just posting and allowing people to be the ones that place orders and then reacting to the inquiries. So now we're really going to drive sales and marketing, which was part of the ask. But unfortunately, I didn't get to that part.
Okay. So maybe I'm giving you an opportunity to tell us about that.
So how we're going to grow, we'll use most of the prize money to get inventory, which will lower our cost of sales and actually increase our gross margins to 77% from 55%. And that will allow us to have a budget to get a national sales manager to help us enter new markets, boost business-to-business growth, and potentially also export our films, because now we have an opportunity to also manufacture. With our trademark now being in acceptance phase, we're planning to actually make the kitchen wrap company a household name in non-invasive renovations. So it won't just be installations, it will be installations and installers and the materials.
Okay, thank you.
Monique?
Prudence, you make my heart sing when I see the progress that you've made, in the sense that you've come up with the accreditation, you've got the strategic partnership in place, you've got this platform, you've got the quotes together for that platform. What worries me is that this pitch has got new things in it. The last one, we had frames that arrived. This one, you're talking about a sales team, or sales manager, you talk about exporting. It seems like your strategy is adapting as you go. What are your plans for the next, let's say, 3 months or 90 days to actually implement what you've said you are going to do?
Yeah. So the frames, the reason why you're not seeing the frames here today, because it's actually a very, very small part of the business. It does boost sales. We've recently started on it, and we are seeing the growth of it. But maybe it's not our core product that I should be presenting to you guys. What happens is when clients order the wraps, they actually most of them, they pair it with the aluminium glass doors. So in other instances, we've actually had clients we get clients because of the glass doors. They like the new look with the modern glass doors. So it's not our core product, but it complements it. And training has always been there. It was just never formal. It was not accredited. So we saw a need to have it accredited. Also, there's not enough workforce in South Africa of people that are doing this. So it's going to give us an opportunity to train people and build a pipeline of skilled workers, so that when we scale, we have people that can work with us.
So you didn't mention the amounts that you need and how, in this pitch at the moment, but we are aware of it from the deck that we work through. All those amounts exceed the prize money that you would potentially get from a Nedbank Pitch and Polish type competition. If you don't win, how will you actually fund your growth?
We'll continue growing organically like we are. We've already started with our platform. It's actually in progress. It's being developed as we speak. So we're going to look for other forms of funding from third parties. We'll do that basically. So yeah, we'll continue as we are doing. It's just that it will be much slower. It won't be as quick as if we were to get this funding.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, so what I'm worried about, and you need to allay my fears, and I've been hearing it, on my left and right as well, is that this whole thing about new shiny thing, but it's almost like you're searching for something, right? And inside, I get a strong sense that you are a great entrepreneur. But what is it that is driving you to keep searching for another thing, another thing, another thing? Okay, and I think where Monique was going is we don't get the sense of you bedding down stuff. It seems to be you're opening up new fronts all the time, each with their own learning curve and their own troubles that they bring. which makes the business fluffy, if you understand the metaphor. So I'm going to give you a second chance at trying to convince us that you get things done.
Okay. So I'll give you a scenario. I have 2 students right now at my factory that I'm teaching how to wrap. And it's a learnership, but it's not a learnership because I'm not accredited. And there's no CETA that actually supports this. So, and also it's not easy to actually find people that can do this. They are there, it's a very specialized skill. They are there, but it's hard. So I'm opening the market up. Like I'm trying to get a workforce basically to work with me. Because right now, if I were to get a very big project, I'd probably struggle because of I don't have the numbers in terms of workforce. So that's what I'm trying to do. And the reason why I'm getting accreditation, it's not like I want to open a college or now I'm a training institution. I'm trying to standardize things, getting proper training that will be standard across all regions.
Okay.
I don't know if you...
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to ask something?
Okay, so what worries you the most about your business?
Operations, not having the right talent or not having enough people. That's why I'm working on it. That's why I constantly bring people in, train them, and then yeah, that's basically the only thing that worries me now. In terms of supply of materials and all that, not really, because in that area I'm diversified. I source from different suppliers from different locations, so yeah.
And just talk to me lastly about competition in the market. It feels like you are a market leader right now, particularly in Gauteng. How are you thinking about competition?
Yeah, I'm not downplaying my competition anymore. Like you mentioned that in the last pitch. I'm not actually, I am looking at what competition is doing, but I'm not focusing on them. And mostly my competition is, we do the same thing, but we don't target the same client. So I don't know, is that indirect competition? Yeah, so they do what they do and I do what I do. And my other competition that I mentioned in the deck, we actually also wrap kitchens for them. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right, Prudence, I think we've heard enough. Thank you for your pitch. Thank you for being in the competition, and you may leave. All right, Monique, your thoughts?
She was very subdued today. I don't know if she's tired or drained or just nervous, but I just found her energy and her personality was very subdued today. And with that came almost like nervousness or uncertainty is what I got across from her, just her body language. I was very impressed when I went through her deck. I literally, when I say my heart sang, it was because it was like, wow. She said she wanted the platform. She's taken the steps for the platform. She said she wanted to train. She's got the accreditation. She's kicked that piece off. She said she wanted to bring in unique wrappings from a specific supplier. She put that partnership in place. I really like the steps that she's taken to actually act on it. But I do worry that she doesn't seem to bed down on my focus is this architectural film, and that is what I'm going to run with. Is the sales manager the right angle? Yes, because she needs to get that demand in market that you were talking about. But it's, I mean, now they're exporting to Namibia.
Maybe, yeah.
But that's also now another, that will come.
Yeah.
Get your platform in place first.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. Yeah, your thoughts?
I mean, I think, Shame, it did help that she came after a Blessing who was just so, his energy was,
Yeah.
I mean, the best it's ever been. So, yeah, she did seem a bit reserved, but I think maybe that is her, who she is. I don't know. I also thought her deck was really impressive. I really, yeah, I thought she took it. But I think that, I mean, I think she's a good entrepreneur. I think she thinks, you know, she's methodical and she's thinking ahead and she's planning and she's putting in all the steps that you know, gearing up for the success. As you said, she's getting her accreditation. She's building a pipeline of skilled people to deliver. I still feel that I mean, she's got a great product. I think it looks great, and there's a clear demand for it. You know, or market rather. She needs to stimulate the demand, so that because then once it, and that I think should be well. But on the other hand, there's no point in having demand and you can't execute. So I think now she's at the point where once she has the trained people, talented people in place, she's got the accreditation, she now needs to really focus on making this. I mean, like I think she should partner, and not high cost marketing as such, the clever ways of doing it. I mean, the developers going up, I mean, developing everywhere, and it's all price bands. So she just needs to partner with them and be their partner, so that she goes in with them, kind of thing. That she's the preferred partner of all of them. Not that she must invest in, you know, the brand. They must be the ones saying, no, we've got a supplier who does all our kitchens, you know, and that's an easy way for, I think, and then her company, and then she can focus then on building the talent and the operations is my view. But I think she's onto a good thing, and I think she's a good jockey, I think.
Yeah.
She is.
She is.
I really think she is. I was also very disappointed by this pitch, but this is pitch and polish, so it's about both things, and it's what we do behind the scenes as well. And let's do the scoring now and see if overall, you know, she can make it to number 1 or number 2 or number 3. But let's go to the scoring.
Her nerves definitely got the better of her. But honestly, who wouldn't feel the pressure? We're giving these contestants just 3 minutes to convince the judges that they deserve a R1,000,000 prize. That's no small task. Okay, that's all 3 pitches done. While the judges deliberate, let's get to that final viewer competition of the season. To win a R5,000 Avo Super Shop voucher, courtesy of Nedbank, you just need to answer one simple question. What is the name of Langelihle and Techa's business? What is the name of Langelihle and Techa's business? Send your name and the correct answer via WhatsApp to 071 802 6981 before midnight tonight. All the correct entries will be entered into a random draw. We'll contact the winner and post their name on our social media pages later this week. Good luck! And now, the moment we all have been waiting for. Let's head into the pitching arena one final time.
Welcome, contestants. All right, so we are here. We are here at the final moment. But before I go into going through each of your pitches and making the decision here, I just want to take you through the whole, everything that's involved in Nedbank Pitch and Polish. First of all, there is the process that takes place. And that process is, the two of you have been through right now, has been through a process of guidance from Race Corp Guides, the learning, the feedback that's come from being in all the different rounds. And the whole idea here is that through that process that there is learning, and whether you are eliminated or you are a winner today, that you leave with huge learning and new friends that you've made over the last 16 weeks. Second of all is the prizes. None of you are going to be losers today. The second runner-up is going to walk away with 50,000 Rand cash. The first runner-up is going to walk away with 100,000 Rand cash. And the winner is going to walk away with 650,000 Rand cash and 350,000 Rand worth of incubation support by Race Corp. So no one walks away without money today. So you can all smile right now, right? And then to make it even better, the next is the PR. You're going to get huge PR. Over the 16 episodes, there are going to be around 9 to 10 million views of this show. Okay, and so what we've seen over the years is that somebody is going to be watching this, is going to say, hey, I want to get my kitchen wrapped, or I want to get a snowball, or I want you to come and train at my school or my TVET college or whatever the case may be. So you're going to get huge exposure from this. And just to give you also some background, in fact, this week I had a meeting with one of the previous, from 4 or 5 years ago, second runner-up, who's just won an 80 million rand deal from Woolworths. So, you know, everyone wins. And that starts, this ball starts rolling. It's a snowball. You see, you started, it's a snowball effect, right? And then I just want to talk about how we've scored, because the scoring here is not like any other competition. This is not about how wonderful you are at speaking. This is not a speaking competition. This is a real business competition. And so there are 3 elements really that we look at. We look at the pitches themselves. So can you pitch? Number 2, we look at your packs, what you submitted, the attention to detail, the accuracy of those packs, the believability of those packs. And none of the people sitting here are first time at this. This is what we do for a living. And we hear lots of stories and we try and see through those stories. So if there's inconsistencies in those packs, we'll pick it up. And then finally, the financials. We look at the financials. And those are the very important things, because what we're trying to understand from the financials is, A, do you understand your financials? And B, if we give you 650,000 Rand as a proxy, as an investment, what impact will that have in your business? So that's how we think about the scoring. This isn't about who says the nicest thing on the day. Okay, so to understand that. So now we'll go into the elimination right now. And I'm going to go in no particular order, just because this is how you walked in. It was you, Langa and Tsecha. Geez, we loved you. Eh? We absolutely, you are, I mean, you're such an inspiration. As young people, you're inspiration to entrepreneurs in South Africa. You've seen an opportunity. I love the fact that, I shouldn't say this because I've got kids at varsity, but I love the fact that you've dropped out of varsity and you still continue to say, and I'm pursuing my passion, something very important for this country, and it's to take South Africa into the 4th industrial revolution. So what you're doing is really great. I also really love how mature you are to bring in a CEO, because a mistake a lot of young people, including myself when I was young, made was to think that you know it all when you're young. To have the maturity to bring in the so-called grey hair to come into the business at a young age, I think is really fantastic. What dropped you today was your financials. Your financials, you saw when we sat with you in the boardroom, your financials is, for us as an investor, we look there, and if you don't know your numbers, that is not a good thing. And the thing that really confused, and I'm going to speak for myself right now, is that if you've got the CEO in place, the question is, and I think I asked it in your pitch, is why get that CEO to train a 21-year-old and not you? I don't understand that dynamic. And that really perturbed me in terms of like why that would be the case. And maybe it's not the case and you didn't get it across, but that's what you got across to us. Yeah, that is really the feedback from your pitch. Unfortunately, gentlemen, you are our second runners up. You will win the 50,000 Rand cash. We wish you all the very best. It's a terrible thing to let you go because you are so good, but we're going to have to let you go now. Thank you for being on Nedbank Pitch and Polish 2025.
Thank you.
You may leave.
Thank you.
All right, so Blessing, Prudence, who's going to go through, who's going to be the winner of the Nedbank Pitch and Polish 2025? Is it going to be you, Blessing? Is it going to be you, Prudence? Who's going to win? Let's start with Blessing, as you came out second. Blessing, your pitch was, I'm going to say this here on camera, the best pitch we have ever had on Nedbank Pitch and Polish in all its history. I've never ever heard a better pitch in terms of hitting all the notes that a pitch should have. And not only that, you've come across with a huge amount of humility. You've come out with always open to learning. And not only were you open to learning, but you came out with whatever you had learned in the next round, which is what we are trying to do on Nedbank Pitch and Polish, is this, it's about polishing and then doing, and what has come out next, and you keep doing that. So we've been hugely impressed with your progress. I love the fact that you talk about this as our hero product. It's like you understand the market. You use that term, hero product. Absolutely fantastic that you understand your industry. There is a deep hunger to win. You can feel that you want to win this. You want to win this. You really want to win this. And as the judges, we can feel that you want to win. We don't always feel that with people who stand in front of us, but we really felt that with you. And we like the fact that you dressed up today. Like we saw that, we recognized that, we felt, that felt good, that, you're still always evolving. And we think you're doing such an amazing job in terms of what you're doing, particularly in KZN, in that rural community. And I think you play a very important part in South Africa's entrepreneurial story. So that's all the positive. I'm going to move to you now, Prudence, who also, your hunger to win was also very palatable. We also, like, you use your nails to win. And that's what an entrepreneur is required to do, is to fight for everything that they want. And you can feel that in you. Your why, you spoke about, the why you're in this business, or why this business was important, why it added value to the client. When you opened up your pitch, you spoke about it increases the value of the property by 15%, the kitchen. That's the first time you had used that line, and it really, okay. So now you've got a better value proposition out there. There's a commercial imperative to use your product because it increases the value of the whole property by 15%. I think your business case is very sound. You've got a very strong business case from an investor's perspective that makes it very attractive to want to invest in your business. But let's go on to the negative now. So that's both of you on the positive. Prudence, I'm going to stay with you. You really, you tripped in your pitch. We were rooting for you, and then it felt like, and then you messed that up in such a vital part. If you messed it up only 2 rounds ago, maybe that would have been okay. But to mess it up in the final, and I know there's anxiety, but to mess it up here was unforgivable. You had your hands in your pockets when you were giving answers. They eventually came out, but that shows a lot of disrespect. And I know maybe your hands are just cold. I don't know, but like they came out later. But to have your hands in your pockets, it says, "Hey, I'm cool." It's like it didn't give the right visual clue to us as judges. And I think from a business perspective, even though I said that your business case is strong, that platform, I think we're all nervous about how much money that platform it can suck out of the business if it's not managed properly. And so we're just concerned about that, and we're concerned about your plan around demand, because we can see how you can support Gauteng, but how are you going to get demand in other areas and then support that? So from a scalability perspective, I think there is scale potential, but how much scale is the question. Coming to you, Blessing, in terms of your negative, we battled to find negative in you. We really did, but don't worry, I found some. Okay. All right. So the big issue, the big issue is that you saw us battling it in the last round and this round, was this whole thing around the productivity and the efficiency. You're asking for money for another oven, yet you're now at 65% capacity. So it doesn't make it, we can't understand why don't you go to then double the shifts, and then you would be at like 35% capacity or 32.5% capacity using the same equipment. It's more efficient. And so what we've concluded, because we're speaking about demand here, investors like demand, and you're not closing the gap for us where you say there's so much demand and you supply of the year to this one and supply of the year to that one, and you all, so it feels like there's demand, but if there's demand, why are you only working 3 or 4 days a week? It does not make sense to us. So it means that the demand part of the equation is not there. Okay, and so if we give you the 650,000, what are you going to do with that when you don't have enough demand? The 14% net profit, I think one of the judges spoke about the fact that it's great you've gone from 7 to 14. I'm not sure that that would be sustainable, or it wasn't clear for us that what underwrote that 14%. Was it the efficiency that you spoke about? Was it the productivity? We couldn't quite pick up what the lever was for that 14% and if that's sustainable. Because to me, I would like to see that 14% is a good net profit, but it shows you that if you went to 100% productivity, or 200%, in other words, 2 shifts, you should have told us what that bottom line would be, and you didn't connect that for us. So that's the negative for you, and now we have to eliminate one of you. Is it you, Prudence, who tripped up in the most vital moment, put your hands in your pockets, and took us on a very fluffy ride? Or is it you, Blessing, who gave the most immaculate pitch and can't prove to us that there is sufficient demand and what you can use the money for? Which one is going to go through? Which one is going to be the winner of the Nedbank Pitch and Polish 2025? Which one? Before I answer, there was a 4%, less than 4% difference in your scores between the two of you. So it's very, very close. And even now, before we sat down and said, oh, what about the other one? Like, what do we do with the other one? Because they're so good, both of you. So I have to make the decision as to which one of you two are the winner of the Nedbank Pitch and Polish 2025. And the winner is the Kitchen Wrap Company.
There you have it, one final pitch. A prize worth 1 million rand and one deserving winner. Congratulations to Prudence, a 2025 Nedbank Pitch and Polish champion. A big shout out to our 2 runners-up who gave it their all. And of course, thank you, our viewers, for being with us every step of the way. It's been a thrill having you along for the ride. From me, Subimboya Arnold, and the entire Nedbank Pitch and Polish team, good night. Mwah!